Thank you very much, Richard. It's a pleasure to be here together with participants from across the industry as we think about new horizons and explore the changing media and communications landscape. One of the privileges of working at the regulator is the opportunity to talk with industry participants across the value chain, as well as viewers directly, gaining a richness of data and information and hopefully understanding from our own research as well as that of others. It's my hope in the next few minutes to build on that research and set the scene for discussions this morning. Before turning to the challenges of an increasingly global and competitive industry and how our broadcasters are adapting to these new horizons, let me start with what matters the most, the viewer, and how audience behavior and viewing patterns are changing. As you know, in the last 10 years, the communications sector has seen unprecedented change with high-speed internet, connected devices, and new services which are transforming how we engage with media content. For example, 4 out of 5 UK adults now have a smartphone. That's up from about a quarter in 2010. Social media has become pervasive, with 58% of us using services such as Facebook and Twitter. Almost half of households now have a smart TV directly connected to the internet. And perhaps most rapid, voice-activated smart speakers have now found their way into about 20% of homes, having just launched in the UK a couple of years ago. And more specifically for the television sector, subscription video-on-demand services have seen a rapid growth in the UK, with almost half of households now subscribing to at least one paid-for SVoD service, up from about a third a couple of years ago. And indeed, in that less than a decade, the number of households subscribing to SVoD services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, Now TV, has overtaken the number of traditional paid TV subscriptions to the likes of Sky and Virgin Media, according to Barb's establishment survey. So let's take a look at some of these viewing patterns. Unsurprisingly, there's an increasing proportion of our total viewing time which is now moving away from live TV and to on-demand and online content. Although we still watch a lot of linear broadcast TV, about 3¼ hours a day, average daily viewing has declined by about 50 minutes since 2010. And that decline is even more notable amongst younger audiences, with 16 to 34-year-olds watching 78 minutes less broadcast TV than they did in 2010. So what's driving that change amongst younger groups, and what are they doing instead? Well, the drop in viewing to live TV has roughly been counterbalanced by a corresponding increase to SVoD and to online viewing services such as YouTube. Average SVoD daily viewing amongst 16 to 34-year-olds has pretty much doubled from 30 minutes to now 52 minutes in the last year, whilst YouTube viewing continues to increase, about 64 minutes now. And in fact, 16 to 34-year-olds are spending more time, on average, watching content online and on demand than watching broadcast TV. And with even greater starker changes to children's media habits, we've done some further research to try and understand why are children in particular so attracted to watching YouTube. And what some of the content that children are watching on YouTube is like traditional TV programs, much of it is markedly different. I mean, it includes vlogs, gaming videos, tutorials, slime and craft videos. And what the children say is that they're attracted to the fact that YouTube is continually refreshed and tailored to their preferences based on what they watched or searched for in the past. And the appeal of YouTube is rooted in the characteristics of specific genres. Children say that they watch vloggers because they feel a sense of connection with those that they perceive to have something in common with them. And to illustrate the point just a little bit more starkly, the research found that when prompted with a range of content brands, YouTube is the one that comes top for 12 to 15-year-olds, somewhat ahead of ITV, BBC One, BBC Two. And of course, as you know, much of this viewing is now happening away from the TV set. In fact, a third of all audiovisual content among 16 to 34-year-olds is watched on devices like smartphones and tablets. That equates to about an hour and a half now per day. So I think we all recognize that this transformation with how we engage in media content has created significant challenges as well as opportunities for UK broadcasters and public service broadcasters in particular. Companies like Netflix and Amazon have significant resources. Estimates suggest that in 2017, the two of them spent a combined £8 billion on content globally. That compares to about £2.7 billion for the PSBs across network programming. And further competition for viewers' attention is on the horizon. Apple is waiting in the wings with a content budget of $1 billion for its new TV service announced in February. Facebook is gearing up for more original content. And Disney's new streaming service is launching in the US in November, likely to come here in the next year or two. With its extensive catalogue of children's movies and TV shows, the launch of Disney Plus is likely to target younger audiences, providing even greater competition for that key segment. But the overwhelming majority of Disney's content and that of the global players is, of course, US-made productions designed to play out to multiple countries. And there, I think, lies an opportunity. Our research shows that UK audiences want more than anything else original UK-produced programs specific to UK audiences. Indeed, showing new programs made in the UK remains important to 78% of regular PSB viewers. And this is an area where the public service broadcasters continue to lead. For example, 44% of all network broadcast hours across the PSBs in 2017 were original productions. That compares to about 5% for the global SVoD players across their catalogue. And if you look at UK-made first-run original hours, the contrast is even starker. Audiences tell us that public service broadcasting is highly valued when it comes to news and children's programming, with consumers increasingly aware of issues such as fake news and online safety. The case for high-quality, trusted PSB content is stronger than ever. Providing news programs which are trustworthy is repeatedly considered the most important PSB purpose amongst viewers, according to our PSB tracker. And although an increasing number of people are getting their news feed from social media, almost a half, the PSB remains the most popular method for accessing news. 6 out of the top 10 most commonly used news sources are the PSB broadcasters, according to our recent news consumption research. And children's PSB programming is also highly rated. More than 80% of parents and carers agree that providing a wide range of high-quality, UK-made programming for children is important for the UK public service broadcasters. So the challenge posed by global SVoD players and online giants is significant and requires our public service broadcasters to rise to meet that challenge. And to that end, the PSBs have been adapting in a number of ways. Firstly, on content, they have been collaborating with those global players themselves, particularly in the area of co-production. As you're probably aware, some of the most successful recent PSB dramas have been created through collaboration between the SVoD and global players, as well as with other overseas broadcasters. A recent example is the drama Bodyguard, a co-production financed by the BBC and Netflix and produced by ITV Studios. The Night Manager and ITV's Victoria are further examples. And indeed, data that we've collected indicates that the contributions to the cost of PSB original UK productions from third parties has more than doubled over the last 10 years, in 2017 rising to about 340 million. And second, when it comes to distribution, the BBC and other PSBs have been adapting their VOD players by releasing entire series online and increasing the number of box sets available, which of course appeals to viewers' appetite to binge view. A recent example is the BBC's Killing Eve drama, for which the entire season was available online after the broadcast of the first episode. Barb Dovetail data indicates that on average, over 1 million more individuals watched each episode of Killing Eve online pre-broadcast than watched live at the time of broadcast. And the commercial PSBs are, of course, adapting their VOD players by engaging in addressable advertising technologies, seamlessly integrating IP-delivered ads into the broadcast stream. And then in addition to collaborating with the global over-the-top players, PSB broadcasters are also forming partnerships with each other, as well as other UK domestic broadcasters. Channel 4 and Sky announced a content-sharing partnership where selected Channel 4 drama series will be released on Sky and the Now TV platform, whilst highlights of Formula 1 and live coverage of the British Grand Prix will be shown on Channel 4 in return. And of course, the BBC and ITV are also joining forces to launch BritBox, a new subscription video-on-demand service offering the best of British content available in one place. So, in conclusion, these are exciting times. There's a wealth of possibilities for the industry, and more importantly, for the viewer, with unparalleled choice of content, the ability to watch where and when we want to, and the ability to engage in all sorts of new ways. And that, of course, means challenges for the industry in a global and more competitive environment. And there's an important role for policymakers, too, as we embrace new horizons. For example, how do we keep audiences safe in a world of increasingly diverse user-generated content? Or how might PSB prominence work in a world of algorithmic content curation and recommendations, and vote by saying to Alexa, show me something to make me laugh? But the amazing talent we have here in the UK, combined with the continuing importance of public service broadcasting and the resilience and adaptability of our PSBs in our industry, gives me good reason to be optimistic. Through collaboration and innovation, I'm confident that our industry can rise to the challenge of serving our audience's expectations and continue to thrive in the digital age. Thank you very much.